So let me do that. Boom. Nice. And then we'll go side by side so we can see each other. Awesome. Okay, so I want to start by talking today. Every now and then I like to do this. My eyeball is freaking out. It's like spasming. Every now and then I like to talk to everybody about the class, see what you've learned, what you're gaining, how it affects your life, and get a sense for what things, like where you wish it would go, right? And in an ideal world, what things do you really want to focus on? And so that's what I wanted to do today, and it makes sense to keep it on the recording, and we'll try to keep it to like 10, maybe 15 minutes or so. Want to start by asking you where you're at, Nancy, in terms of, because we're up to, I don't even remember what number we're at now, 25 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I'm bad at remembering.
29, like we're up to 30. So starting with you, Nancy, tell me where you're at in the process. I know you're like teaching classes now, but I don't know that much about it. And you can tilt the camera down since they're sitting down so we can see everybody.
Okay. Well, you know, most of my classes that I'm teaching on Monday has to do with getting people so they can move better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more repeating the same exercise or same movement, and I'm adding on, and we've gone now to right heel kick. So it's keeping me having to practice, and it's a great way of reinforcing learning. You know, I'm doing a couple of online courses, David Dorian Ross, plus your course. So I like the Qigong, but as you said, and I do a great deal of Qigong in the Monday class, as in, you know, repeating,
Mm-hmm.
holding the ball. So I think I've got the whole form. Of course, it needs to be corrected. We haven't gone through the whole form with you correcting me.
Right. We haven't styled the 24 form yet.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
So that's part of what this question was about, because when you started this process, I believe it was just you, right? And we did teacher training with just you. And
yes.
Then we added a class. We let other people come and learn with you. And
yes.
Just like we did the same thing with body juggling, and at a certain point in teaching the class, I realized you weren't progressing and learning in the way you had been, because I was focusing on the class. And so that's part of my questioning here is, you know, and if you're taking someone else's course to get other stuff, that's good. That can easily fill in the gaps, you know. But I want to make sure that because we started this process with your own learning, and I know that you're learning to teach others, that we're addressing your own personal concerns. And if you want more styling, that's a specific concern that I need to know so that I can help you with styling. You know what I'm saying? And that was the point of this conversation. So that's good to know. Please let me know any.
Well, you want to know that I mean, this is a DVD course. I don't have anyone correcting me, so it's not. You can see what I'm doing and correct. You and I aren't doing our one-on-one like we were, and because we went in a different direction.
Yeah, we're following the energy. We're letting it evolve, and I love having people in class with you. And I love that you're teaching, you know, this stuff. You know, you're teaching the body juggling and you're teaching the Tai Chi, and that's what's necessary to be able to teach it. Is just be willing to do it. Nobody ever feels qualified to begin teaching Tai Chi. It's too complex. There's too many layers and dimensions to it. Nobody ever feels qualified to teach body juggling, but at some point we just have to. And the more you teach it, the more you'll understand it. Teaching it will make you practice it more, you know. And the key to everything that I do, Tai Chi specifically, because that's what we're here today to do, but it applies to meditation as well. It applies to body juggling. It applies to anything that you want to master in your life. The key is practice. And that's the first thing I wanted to talk to your regular students about, is a really honest take and assessment of how often they practice, because most people don't practice. Most people will come and do anything for 1 hour a week. They'll do, like whatever, but very few people go home and actually practice. And if you like Tai Chi, or if you like meditation for 1 hour a week, if you practice it every day, even if it's only for 10 or 20 minutes, you're going to like it even more. You're going to get way more out of it. And so learning how to ease people into the discipline that it takes, that it requires to practice something every day, I've learned is absolutely quintessential to getting good results in teaching people to meditate. If I take you through a guided meditation for 1 hour a week and you don't meditate for the rest of the week, and you come back next week, you're going to be exactly where you were this week. And I can do it to you again, but if I take you through that 1 hour and then you practice every single day, when you come back next week, your frequency is going to be a lot higher than it was this week. Does that make sense to everybody? If you practice every day, you're going to have way more skill and understanding than if you practice one time and then practice again, next week, one time. And the importance of that, I'm finding, is that with something like meditation, that people think of meditation as, it's just stress relief. But it's not just stress relief. Meditation literally will affect every aspect of your life. It will affect the quality of every single part of your life. And so will Tai Chi. If you practice it every day, it will affect how you walk up and down the steps. It'll affect how you fall. Like I stopped falling. I literally caught myself with one foot on ice, a few months after I started practicing every day Tai Chi. So I'm realizing that teaching things to people is not enough. Teaching people the importance of discipline and actually practicing something beyond a class is quintessential to really understanding and leveraging the value of what we're doing here. So I hope everybody understands that. And if you can't practice or don't care to, don't let me get down on you. But if you see value in this enough to come and do it more than a few times, there's way, way more value beneath the surface of that. And so I want everyone to have the opportunity to get tapped into that. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. So honestly speaking, Andy, you've been coming for a long time. How often do you practice outside of just being in this room with us?
We started practicing every Sunday. Then I got kind of ill, not to do with this, but I've been pretty sick in a way. I seem to be getting better, so I stopped for a while. I don't even know what it was even, but I seem to be getting over it. But,
okay, and so from that, I gather you have pretty much never practiced Tai Chi or Qigong on your own, right?
Well, I have, but we're doing it about every Sunday.
Oh, every Sunday you've been doing it by yourself?
Well, with my wife.
Oh, with your wife. And so do you lead your wife?
We've actually used the teaching videos, trying using them as following them, doing the same exercise.
Whose videos?
Yours.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's very cool. That's very cool, and super awesome. Kudos for that. I'm proud of you for that, and please let me know how well or how poorly that works, because I want these processes to be things that other people, like, not just for this live class, but I want them to be designed so that other people can watch and practice along with it as well.
Get back. We also just got a screen. We don't have a TV. Too much garbage. We just got a Roku to stream, and I haven't figured out how to get your videos. I guess I have to plug my computer into the screen, and I'm not even Neanderthal.
Right. Well, you're ahead of me because I barely even understand what Roku is. So there you go. You're ahead of me in that capacity. I don't have a television either. I do everything I need to do through a laptop and a smartphone. So there's definitely a way you can get my videos on a laptop or a smartphone. I think Nancy posts some of them to YouTube, don't you, Nancy?
Yeah, I get everything Nancy
That's what
posts.
that's what he
Yeah,
watches.
so anything on YouTube you can watch on your phone with a 3G, or Wi-Fi connection.
It's just hard to do it when you're standing up trying to follow it, is what he's saying. The screen's small.
Oh yeah, so you'd have to
He's
set
got-
your phone up on a desk close to you, and it is going to be small. So laptop would definitely work better, totally. But if I'm doing fill the whole screen up with my upper body, if I'm doing the arm style, that would still work pretty well. If I'm back here and you got to see my whole body, that would be tough in a phone. Awesome. And is it Trish?
Yes.
Trish, is there anything you can tell me about how you've practiced or not practiced, or anything about how Tai Chi has affected your normal daily life?
Okay, I do not practice Tai Chi other than when I'm here, and I enjoy it for the moment. I'll tell you what I enjoy more than Tai Chi is Qigong.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago I was here, and I really enjoyed that class very much. But there is a plus to Tai Chi. I have torn cartilage in my knee, and I'm going to physical therapy, and I read up that Tai Chi is very good. It's a good exercise for strengthening my legs and my muscles to help me through the torn cartilage. I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
Well, yes, I started with Qigong, and Qigong is the basis of all Tai Chi, and usually 1/3 to half of every Tai Chi Rhythms class is Qigong. Qigong is the basis of all of it. Qigong is just simple exercises over and over again, whereas Tai Chi is combinations of exercises, and Tai Chi is expressly designed as a martial art. So every single movement in Tai Chi is either a neutralization or an attack. It's a neutralization or an attack, right? So all the principles are the same though, but for health purposes, for meditative purposes, for stress relief purposes, for all of those purposes, Qigong is much better than Tai Chi. But as you very smartly acknowledged, there are benefits to Tai Chi that are not contained inside of Qigong. So understanding the differences, like where the line is between them, is really important. And obviously that's part of why I wanted to talk today, so that everybody can understand the difference between Qigong and Tai Chi. Understand Qigong is the foundation of Tai Chi, but that Tai Chi has very specific gifts and teaches very specific skills that you will not get from Qigong. And one of the things is, and that's where the knee comes in, is that you have this stepping and moving and turning that's inherent in Tai Chi practice. All Tai Chi forms have stepping and turning and moving, because you have to step and turn and move in a battle, in a martial arts encounter. So there's always this shifting and stepping and turning in Tai Chi that's going to be very good for hips, very good for knees, very good for ankles. And the reason that it's good is because it's soft and gentle movement, which is all physical therapy is just some version of soft and gentle movement. You won't get that from Qigong. Qigong is mostly standing still, and there is some squatting and standing. And at advanced levels, you do get some forms that are based on animal styles, so you do crouch in some of them, but most people never get to that. Qigong, mostly, people are just standing still, moving their arms. And in Tai Chi, we get that upper body, lower body connection of in and out. So that is one benefit. And so I appreciate your honest feedback. And Qigong is easier to practice on your own than Tai Chi is, because Tai Chi it's like dance choreography. And I go to dance class all the time, and I learn something and I can do it. But then I go home, and a day later, I can't remember any of the stuff that the guy taught me. Tai Chi tends to be like that for people, whereas Qigong is easy to remember because it's just big circles. Everything in Qigong, it's just circles. And if you let your body move gently in circles, you're doing Qigong, and you're opening certain joints, you're opening certain meridians, which are the energy channels through your body. So yeah, it's really important to notice the difference between the two so that we can focus on the skills that we really need the most. You know, do we really need to work on our posture and our breath? Do we really need to work on defending ourselves? Do we really need to work on our knees? So we have to be shifting, and we should be bending, even though a bum knee is not going to want to bend. It has to bend to ever be useful again. Everybody wants to lay off of the thing that hurts, but that doesn't help it heal. Everything has to be used if it's going to be functional, you know, so that's the whole point of rehab. I love both of them very deeply. Qigong is much easier to teach, especially in a digital format. But I know that Tai Chi can be shared in this format. So that's what we're discovering. So I appreciate you guys, you know, willingness to play and discover. Okay, so Nance, you and I can talk more later about how we can help give you what you need as a teacher, you know, from this process and still keep the dynamic we have in the class. It feels like the class enjoys it and wants to keep going, so I don't want to take anything away from them. Any other thoughts you guys have for me or questions before we get moving? No?
No.
Awesome. Let's get them in line, Nance. And then I am going to make me big again. And so I won't be able to see you guys. I'll just be leading and you guys follow as best you can. And in terms of rhythm, when in doubt, follow Nancy. So Nancy, you be in the center, have each of them on either side, and then let them take like one step back so you're a little bit in front of them. And come in, Tris, so you're in the camera. Yep, and that way. Yep, perfect. Sweet. And then we're going to pin me. Boom. And you guys get my special Zen Kodo music today. Tell me if it's too loud or if you have trouble hearing me or anything. Love this playlist. Boom. My eyelid's going crazy. Okay, we're going to start upper body. And then we'll go to low body. Okay, so we're going to start by shaking the hands like you're getting water off your fingertips. You're going to relax your wrists, relax your elbows, and relax your shoulders so you can feel these ripples moving into your torso, into your chest, and even so you can feel those ripples moving into your center, your dantian. Still shaking those hands, raise them up. And you're going to shake them all the way up high, shake them, shake them, shake them. And then we're just going to stretch tall. Relax, coming back down. From the dantian, we're going to twist left and right. Arms are loose and floppy like limp noodles. If your shoulders are completely relaxed, your arms should be flopping into your body. Limp noodles. And back to center. Same thing, front to back, using the least energy you can to keep your arms moving. Relax those shoulders. And then slowly letting them swing to a stop. Okay, those arms should be hanging heavy, right? Like you have wrecking balls at the bottom of each arms. They're hanging heavy. And we're going to lean forward and we're going to let the arms keep hanging heavy. So I'm leaning forward and my arms are still hanging straight down towards the ground, like wrecking balls. Now watch what happens here. Arms are completely floppy. And once they stop, I want you to use your torso to make them swing and then let them stop swinging. Feel them stop and then let them swing. Zombie arms. Good. Gently rolling up. Leave those zombie arms. This, like we got hit in the shoulders with darts, right? By like Zulu. This is Tai Chi arms. Tai Chi arms are like a marionette, okay? There's no this in Tai Chi. Everything is this, okay? So I want you to feel these marionette arms and notice how in order to move them, it has to start here. Every movement, if your shoulders are relaxed, has to start the dantian, the center, okay? This is where all energy in Tai Chi comes from. So I want you to remember this marionette arm as we go through all of these sequences, because we're always going to be moving with the shoulders that soft, with the arms that loose, okay? Now, one of my favorite examples with my teacher, he would say, imagine you have strings connected to your wrists, and those strings pull your wrists up. Your shoulders are completely relaxed, but those strings pull your wrists up like a marionette's arms. And then that string allows those arms to sink. String pulls those wrists up, elbows are soft, shoulders are relaxed. And then that string lowers. And then for the hands, he would say, imagine your hands are like paintbrush in water. So the bristles of a paintbrush flow behind the hilt. And then as the hilt moves the other way, the bristles follow that flow. And then we add the breath. We inhale, floating up. And we exhale, floating down. Then with every single repetition, we just try and do it with less and less effort. In fitness, we do repetitions in order to create tension, in order to create exhaustion, tiredness, resistance. In Qigong, we do lots and lots of repetitions in order to release tension, in order to create efficiency, in order to create endurance, in order to discover effortlessness. So in fitness, the more repetitions you do of something, the more tired you get. In Qigong, the more repetitions you do of something, the softer you get. The more relaxed you get. And the more sensitive you become. Beautiful. Left hand out in front. And we're going to treat that like it's a blade. And we're going to push it all the way across and leave it flat facing forward. And then we're going to pull it back and leave it facing flat forward. Boom. So this is like a plane of glass, and I'm pushing flat on that glass all the way across. And I'm pulling that glass. It's stuck to my hand, and I'm sliding it like a door. Boom. Okay. One more time, pushing flat. Okay. Now this time, let that wrist relax. And bring that hand across the front, but softly. And then as you go back, let it open and drag. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let your arm be as soft as possible, like seaweed in the ocean. Let it move like smoke. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Other hand. Flat like a plane of glass. We're going to push across. Keep it flat. And slide it back. Keep it flat. Boom. Sliding. This is like a mime exercise, like you're pushing against a wall. Boom. Actually, training for mime is very much like training for Tai Chi. Okay, now we're going to let that wrist relax, and the hand's going to drag behind, and the hand's going to drag behind softly, like a paintbrush through water. Now add the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pay attention to your joints and notice if there's any creaking. If there's creaking, you've got tension in your tendons and your ligaments. Relax those ligaments so you can feel every part of your body floating like it's in water. Okay? You can't do Tai Chi like this. No Tai Chi here. It's the same movement, but there's all of this. That's not Tai Chi. This is Tai Chi. You can feel when the body is floating. You can feel when there's fluidity. Each part is talking to the other parts. Each part is open to being led, to following. Good. Two hands. Now we're holding a box. Keep that box solid. Boom. Keep that box solid. Boom. Straight forward. Boom. Straight forward. Boom. Okay. Keep doing this. Teacher's note, Nancy. The importance of a drill like this is that a lot of people have trouble mobilizing or relaxing their wrists. In order to keep your hands flat as you do this movement, you have to relax both wrists. My wrists are having to bend to keep both hands. So that begins to teach people how to let the wrists do that in this motion. The next step is that we want to soften it. And we want to let them flow like water. And I imagine one hand pulling the other hand. One hand creates suction and that pulls the other hand. Elbows are soft, shoulders are soft. Inhale. Exhale. Softer and softer with each movement. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Hands on this side. Now we got a expert tip. This is styling. What Nancy and I were talking about. This is styling. This is how you begin to take a move beyond the surface of just this, right? We're going to take it beyond the surface of just this and really feel what's happening here. Just like when we were doing this, the energy comes from here. So we're going to start to work with the energy from here. So if the arms are out here, I want you to focus on your shift. So we're going to shift this way, and we're going to shift this way. Now notice how I'm staying level. I shift and I stay completely level, so I have to really bend both knees. I'm not going up in the middle and then down here. I'm going straight across and straight across. I'm shifting, I'm stopping gently. I'm shifting and I'm stopping gently. Shifting, shifting. Okay, so this shift is the beginning of the move. So watch how this works. The shift, and then the arms follow. And it's not until they're all the way out here that I'm going to start this shift back. And the arms are going to follow. Shift, arms follow. Shift, arms follow. Feel how that movement originates here and then rolls down through your arms like a wave. Initiation here, rolls through your arms like a wave. Okay, beautiful. Same process, slightly different movement. We're going to roll back. So we were just doing here. This is wave in front. This is lateral. Same thing as this, right? But this is lateral. This is back and forth. Exact same thing. Now we're going to go to roll back, and it's going to be down. We're going to start here. We're going to start with the torso stiff. We're going to work on the arms. Then we're going to add the shifting in. Arms first. Let's keep them rigid because it helps us understand where the chi comes in. Rigid arms. Like windshield wipers. Boom. Windshield wipers. This is all rollback is. Windshield wipers. Okay? Now, hands out to your right. And now we're going to let those windshield wipers get soft. It's just like windshield wipers, but they're soft. The elbows are soft. The wrists are soft. The shoulders are soft. And then when we add the breath, we're going to inhale as the arms float up. And then we're going to exhale as the arms sink down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Now let's add our shift, okay? Arms are going to come out over here, and we're going to shift this way. Same as before, the movement is going to start from the core, from the center of the dantian. We're going to start here, and then the arms are going to sink. And they're going to float up, and not until they're here do we shift back, and the arms are going to sink. Shift and sink. Shift and sink. Shift and sink. Now, if you guys watch my hands, you'll see how my hands are making this cool little like infinity symbol. It's like a figure 8 sideways, rolling over and then sinking down through the middle, rolling over and sinking down through the middle. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Good, back to center, shake it out. Awesome work. Holding our ball, wrists soft and relaxed, not here, relaxed. Shoulders, relaxed, not here, here, here. Imagine you're holding a basketball and you're just twisting it in your hands. You're rolling it from one side to the other. Be more specifically, you keep the perimeter of this ball, the more tangible the feeling of that space will become. Your palms, your fingers will start tingling or getting warm or cool. Imagine you were doing this underwater. This would start to make a vortex. Same thing happens in space. It's just energy as opposed to water. Now we let this ball get smaller and smaller, slowly. Keeping the palms soft, keeping the fingers soft, keeping the wrists soft. And then we're going to get the hands as close as we can together without actually touching. And you're just going to hold them there for a second. Let your palms relax, let your wrists relax. They're going to try, those muscles are going to try and be tight because there's a lot of energy moving through your hands right now. Let them relax. Energy actually blocks the flow of movement, blocks the flow, or resistance, sorry, tension, blocks the flow of movement, blocks the flow of sensation, blocks the flow of energy. So you want to let those palms relax, let your elbows relax, as close as they can be with everything soft. And now what we're going to do is really, really slowly, really, really slowly, let those hands move away from each other. And just notice what it feels like. Let them keep moving away from each other very slowly. And just notice how weird that feels. Feels like suction, feels like magnetism, feels like tickles, feels like heat. Doesn't matter what it feels like to you, but focus on the kinesthetic sensation of it. Okay, when you get to about the size of your body, that's going to be bigger for some of us than others. Now we're going to reverse that slowly. Notice that closing feels different than opening. Okay, as close as you can without touching again, still staying soft. Noticing all the feelings in your body. We're going to do that one more time. Hands are going to stay rigid like we're holding onto this piece of glass and the glass is expanding outwards. Okay, this is just like from the box at the beginning. We're going to leave the hands flat and very slowly let them expand. Let them get to about the width of your body. Hands are still flat. Good. And then we're going to contract again, still flat. Accepting every sensation because every sensation is true. And every sensation is you. Okay, so remembering the two most important elements of Qigong and Tai Chi, slowness and softness. What we just demonstrated was slowness. This is slow, but it's not soft. Now we're going to add soft to slow. This is what it looks like. There's softness. This is still slow, but there's softness now. I'm no longer rigid. So we're going to continue breathing through this, but instead of being rigid like a box, we're going to be soft and open like a gill. And we're going to relax the wrists, we're going to relax the fingers, and we're going to expand and contract this space very slowly. Slow and soft. Notice how much your sensation increases, how much your awareness increases with softness. Beautiful. Now remembering that softness, palms float about the height of the waist, fingertips pointing towards each other. Shoulders are completely relaxed. Arms are floating like seaweed in the ocean. Hands are going to float up like helium balloons as we inhale, floating. Splash the face with electric chi water, palms turn down. Exhale. Everything in the body drains down into the earth. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining. Use every single repetition as an invitation to relax a little bit deeper and to move just a tiny bit slower. If you do nothing else in Qigong and Tai Chi, but try to relax just a little bit more on each movement and try to move just a little bit slower, you will have a stable practice for the rest of your life. Good. Left hand floats over the third eye. Right hand floats over the root. Shoulders are completely relaxed. Arms float like seaweed. And you're going to breathe through the palms like you have gills in the centers of your hands. Inhale and exhaling through the palms like you have gills. Now with the inhale, both hands are going to switch places as slowly and as effortlessly as possible. Inhale. And exhale, switch back. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine you were doing this movement underwater. What would that feel like? Notice any bumps, any hiccups, any kinks. And use your breath to smooth out those places until the whole pattern becomes as fluid as water. Beautiful. Both hands are going to float in front of the heart center, one over the other. And then we're going to tumble forward very slowly and gently. And as you do, imagine that you're winding taffy. And the slower you move and the softer you are, the thicker that taffy becomes. Relax the shoulders even more, relax the elbows, relax the palms. Beautiful. Hands float about the height of the waist, palms facing up, shoulders are completely relaxed. Hands are going to float up slowly and gently like helium balloons. Pay attention to when you begin to feel your face, when your face begins to feel your hands. And then we're going to let the hands get as close to the face as we can without actually touching. Then explore the shape of your face. Now visualizing that connection, we're going to let the hands begin to sink slowly and gently and let that connection stretch out like taffy. As the hands slowly sink all the way down. Good. Shake it out. And return to center. Notice what your body feels like. Notice what your mind feels like. The shoulders completely relaxed. Hands are going to go out and up. Inhale, floating. Fingertips point together overhead. Exhale, everything in the body draining down into the earth. Relaxing even more. Inhale, floating. Exhale, draining down into the earth. Last one, most effortless thing you've ever done in your entire life. Inhale, floating. Hands come together overhead. Exhale down to the heart center. Allow your awareness to rest effortlessly in the center of every sensation. Accepting every sensation because every sensation is true. And every sensation is you. Remembering the body, mind, and spirit are not separate components, but merely different aspects of the same one experience. Unifying body, mind, and spirit through movement, breath, and awareness makes every moment effortless. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good work, guys. Stretch out those knees and hips. That was mostly Qigong. So we didn't do as much shifting and moving as we normally do in Tai Chi. But I thought it was awesome.
Yes, it was good.
It's always awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of you noticed, but I tailored that session to exactly everything everybody talked about. Did you guys notice that?
Yes.
I didn't have as much shifting as I could have done for Trisha's knees, but once everybody was connected to the chi, I just wanted to go deep. And when we were in our faces, like I lost track of space, like I was somewhere else. I forgot I was teaching a class. And I was like, oh, wait a second, I'm on TV here. come back into this realm. Any thoughts or questions about that? That was a really awesome session. And if you share this with everybody, Nancy, they might need to skip through the talking, but it'll be really easy to follow it, and it'll work even on a phone.
All right.
Awesome. You guys have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.